Oh my gosh, I thought we were having the intro. Welcome everybody to the Know-It-Alls where we've taken over. Should we do the
I
intro quick?
know. Oh, you
The
mean like the
smartest,
know-it-all song? Okay, the
yeah,
smartest
the
guys
guy and
around,
girl around. They're about to break it down like they've
like they have
won.
the game
Oh,
a
well,
million times. Well,
but actually, she won it because she stole it from me. They know
absolutely.
it all. Do 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 do. What a day to host the know-it-alls because Jeff famously said this episode that on Survivor, you really haven't played or have a chance to drop your buff until you've been on the show. And I
Mm-hmm.
recall we were both on the show. We have to drop
I
our buff.
know. I know. My buff, which I don't have, but I don't think that's what Jeff said. I think Jeff said this. Come on. I'm Jeff Probst. I'm really cool. I've done this since the old school. And now it's time to show your tough. So everybody drop your
buffs. Damn, Maryanne, that's so good. I love that.
We will get to that because we have to talk about the aftermath of this tribal. Recently, just last week, we saw Savannah go home, sad, the winners are dying episode by episode. And we go back and everyone is like, oh my gosh, Christian, are you okay?
He ate shit. We should eat shit right now. But did you, okay, firstly, excellent. Like this man, he has it all. He's a professor. He is a wordsmith. He can last on a pole for 7 hours. And now he can fall on command and make it look, that looked believable, Maryanne.
No, it actually looked really good.
And it looked like it hurt. And did you understand Rick's reference to Charlie Chaplin? Or are you too? I didn't understand it, so I can't imagine you.
No, whoa. I am a person of the arts and theater. And so I actually understood it because Charlie Chaplin, for those who might be my age or Omar and just live with your head under a rock, is the early 1920s comedian actor, very physical comedian, pratfalls, that sort of thing. So he did it so well. He committed so well. And I just wonder, coming back to tribal, coming back to camp, you've had this vote out and now you just have to think, oh my goodness, Christian, are you okay? You fell. Did medical have to come? Did people have to figure it out? Did he have to get his blood pressure taken? But only Rick Devens at this moment knows that it was just a joke and that he secretly hid that hidden idol. And now there is an idol at tribal council.
And really, this is a playoff of Adam Klein's Game Changing. We are moving in the direction where we can officially say that Adam Klein and Rick Devens were more of game changers than Sierra Dawn Thomas. Do we agree?
Oh my goodness, that's so true. And even speaking to the way that Devens did it, and I know we're talking about last episode, but I really quite like it because it has the packaging, it has everything. But that's the last week. Let's go to this week. We wake up and there is tree mail.
Before the tree mail, the intro is back.
Oh, that too.
Did you love it? Okay, top three of the intro.
Yes.
Benjamin, Colby, Jonathan.
Okay. Okay. Coaches, so good. I know Benjamin. Jonathan's, I think those moving action shots. I can't think of a third right now, but
Colby smashing the tile. That's pretty good. We're on point.
Aubry smashed two jumping. That was nice too.
Yeah.
But I think Jonathan and Coach, just because theirs was such an action shot that really showed who they were, with Coach with the Tai Chi and Jonathan with being in the water, his element. It was like, oh, this is who they are. This is who they've been. And now I get to see it on the 50 opening. I thought it was spectacular.
Spectacular. And this season is firing on all cylinders again. This is the third episode, a great episode. And before we even get into the details, we have to honor Q. Quintavious, yes. We have to cancel Christmas for next year all the way because this is an early loss. But I feel like anybody we lose, we're gonna have a loss. So how do we feel about Q's overall story this season?
Oh my gosh, I felt that Q really went, and I felt as if he was in that beautiful balance of, I am aware of the game that I played in 46, and I'm going to change it to be to lead the reins, but I'm still going to be my same Q-ness. Like, you immediately saw him get out the gate, get in a majority alliance, immediately lose his vote, figure out what he needs to do to keep himself in the alliance. He's still driving the wheel, pulling in the people he wants to pull in, which might have attributed a little bit to his downfall. But then in the end, he still had people trusting him, and people weren't voting him out. It wasn't really like Q is volatile and we need to get him out. It was more of like Q is running the show.
Yes, he was
like
the stabilizing force.
Yes.
Yeah, I love when somebody can come in and play like a different game. Although to be fair, Q was fairly stable in his alliance early on. That comes later. You have to you have to win people over before you can
Yep.
really unleash your inner demon like we did. People didn't know
Yes.
they were a menace until after a while. But I think that
Mm.
Q, he really did. Do you think that part of this is because he lost his vote, or do you think that they were all going to team up on them anyways?
Ooh, that's a good question. I personally think that it just was always Q. Because if you're looking, and I want to get into a little bit later, but if you're looking at who was there at the tribe, you have the Dave versus Goliath alliance, who kind of had this de facto agreement. Then you have Emily and Ozzy and Christian, who all those don't want to work, who also don't want to vote for each other. So then that kind of only leaves Q and Stephenie. And so in this moment, people didn't really hate Stephenie than Mike, because Mike was just like, I think Q was running it, so I think this is the person who needs to go. So it kind of defaulted into Q because there were only two different options. And I don't think at this moment Stephenie wasn't doing anything where it's like, oh, she's running the show, or oh, she's doing this. So it felt like Q would have been a bigger shot.
Yeah, I don't know, because I feel like I don't think that him losing his vote got him voted out tonight. However, I do think it made it impossible to really mount an offense here, because they
Yes.
come in, they're all talking about David versus Goliath. So those three
Mm-hmm.
don't necessarily want to give in to that temptation at that point. They want to
Mm-hmm.
try to protect their own numbers, and they have 3 out of 6. So there's no reason. Is Emily Flippin financial analyst? Isn't a financially analyst good call to be going to rocks for Quintavious or Stephenie and
Absolutely.
at this point?
No.
Like, for what reason? So there really was no way, I feel, that was easy for them, especially because he was showing how strong he was with his original
Yes.
tribe and Stephenie. There's no reason to necessarily keep him around. So I think it made it
Mm-hmm.
impossible, but it wasn't the thing but I mean, that just goes to show you the vote can be to have that say, to have that voice is very valuable. And it could have potentially, if he had that, he would have had a little bit more leverage, because if people really wanted to topple DVG, they could have done it in a way.
Mm-hmm. I know. But Omar, like I said, we have to talk about this tribe swap. I
Yes,
know.
yes, yes. Let's take a step back. How
Okay.
exciting. The fans
I
voted for it. We wanted
know.
it. Did you vote for
Oh
it?
yeah. I think I voted for a tribe swap. Did you?
I did vote for a tribe swap.
And
I
you
thought it
know
was
who
so
else who
funny that
voted for a tribe swap?
Charlie.
Charlie.
I like Spicy Charlie coming for the fans, but we knew he was in with them too.
Yes, exactly. That was, and Christian calling Charlie out too, being like, "Who did you vote for?" Yeah, come
Yeah.
on, sit down.
Did we like how the swap tribe the 3 tribes broke out? Because I loved having DVG all together, bringing those relationships back
Mm-hmm.
together.
Mm-hmm.
I am obsessed that Aubry and Genevieve got to stay together.
I know.
And then
My
having Riz
girlies are
got a great have that
Yes.
moment. So funny.
Yes. I met you. And Cirie's like, yeah,
I
yeah.
remember it.
I thought it was, and let's also not talk about we also chat about the honor and integrity. Who are the three again? It was
Oh, okay.
Cole,
So let's start with that tribe then.
Joe. Yeah, yeah.
Colby, Joe. You have
Yes.
Colby, Joe,
Yep.
and Coach. How
Mm-hmm.
obvious was this moment where it's like the collective, it's like say the line, or Michelle Fitzgerald, kick the tower over. We know it's coming.
Yes.
Honor,
Yes.
integrity, blah, 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 blah.
Yes. And
Joe
I thought
didn't
it
learn
was
from first time.
no, I thought actually it was a great add-in with Coach being
Yeah.
like, Joe, you made me see I could play 50 again because you showed that the new era still has honor and integrity. And so I'm going to bring you into the fold. I actually think that was a great strategic play by Coach to really pull in Joe. Because
Oh,
in this moment, he's showing Joe, I don't care that you're new era. For me, I care more about how you play. And you play like me. You play like me and Colby, the good guys. And we're going to go and bring you in. And so I thought it was cool. I also thought it was cool that they brought the little callback to season 20 with Superman in a fat suit, and they showed that connection. Like the show has been doing very well in giving information to watchers who might not know all the lore, and so I'm quite loving that as well too.
Yeah, but somewhere out there, David Milkman Kinney was rolling in his grave over this moment of honor and integrity because he doesn't buy into it anymore. But what I will say is that, I think the interesting thing about last week was there was so much talk about Joe and the
Mm-hmm.
traumas of his previous season, Kyle and Kamilla
Mm-hmm.
playing him to the point where, you know, they enacted a plan. They made him look like a fool on the show. And that is really just like, you can see it's grinding his gears. He doesn't want to get caught up in that again. But it's interesting to see him lean back in to the honor and integrity thing. But I will say on Joe's defense here, the right move for the right audience, you know?
Exactly. You don't go to coach and say, hey, I played with honor and integrity last season. I was spun around, so I'm not playing with that anymore. That's not how you get coach to like you. That's not how you get Colby to like you. You need to go and bring them to the way that they love to play. And they love to play with that big major alliance. Oh, yes. According to they love to play with that big alliance where they're honors towards each other, and then whoever they go and vote out, it's because they're in the out group. And that's kind of like the mindset of how they're playing. And so we kind of touched bases well about like my girl Genevieve and Aubry, how they're pew, 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 but we got to bring in the stirring of the pot.
Coming in messy. That's so funny. And the thing is, you would think on paper, Tiffany, Genevieve played one season apart. Everybody knows the people kind of around your season, you know, a little bit better, several distances away. You have Tiffany coming here. She's not fucking around. She wants to work with Aubry. What could go wrong? She is going to sell Genevieve on the river immediately. And okay, so I would say I like this play if she really wants to connect with Aubry and make a move. I just don't see where she's going to get the traction in this group, because it seems they're all gravitating towards Genevieve over Aubry. So is it going to be a 5-2 situation? Now, she doesn't yet know that Aubry has the immunity idol. So they could really do something here. So I think ultimately you have to go with where you feel your like heart and soul is, which is what Joe, Coach, and Benny are doing. So why not Tiffany going with Aubry? I think that's fine, but I love this little it's like Aubry versus Genevieve is like a tennis match. They're going back and forth. Genevieve has the numbers. Aubry has the idol. Where do you see this going?
Oh my goodness. You see, for me, it really, I just don't see how numbers can override this at this point, right? Because let's say, for example, they go to tribal, everyone's thinking it's Aubry who's going home. I think, and you're saying, and it's a 5-2 situation. If you put 3 and 2, you still win in a tie. So they're overall, Genevieve still wins. And then the next tribal, Aubry's not good, unless there's another Billie Eilish idol. No, they're on the beach that it hasn't been found, right?
Yeah,
so that means there's no more way for then Aubry to get a second idol with the weapons that they have here. So even if they go and Aubry might win the first round, she's not going to win the war. So I think right now that even though she has that idol in her pocket, that Genevieve, if they have to go to multiple tribals, I don't see how they take away Genevieve, because she seems so ingrained with everyone and everyone wants to work with her.
And this tribe actually, to me, seems like the weakest one of the 3. I'm a little bit surprised that they did pull it out, because to me, it seems like you have obviously the Jonathan tribe, the Kamilla tribe. They have got puzzles and strength on lock. And then you look at the tribe that lost. I mean, you've got Ozzy, Challenge Beast, Christian, the Mental Giant, Emily Flippin. I don't think Emily identifies as a puzzle girl, but you know, they also have these things as well. And yet they have the curse of Stephenie. So perhaps that will stay Aubry versus Genevieve thing for a little bit longer. But I like this dynamic as well, where the thing is, if Tiffany can still place herself in the majority where they don't know she's feeding information to Aubry, it is possible that she won't get split on. And maybe they could send the votes elsewhere because they may not want to piss her off. But if she's seen as a tight 2, you're right. They just do not have the numbers to kind of make it out of this alive. But Chrissy's also in an interesting position as well. And Chrissy, our girl, she got a nice little moment tonight, which I want to appreciate. Thank you for being vulnerable, putting yourself out there, showing us the story that you kind of cope with. And you can see the demons of her past Survivor season also coming back to haunt a little bit. You know, we saw how brutal people talked about Chrissy after her season. And then now she's kind of like a nice lady that just wants some redemption, but Coach did the Tyson Coach. Chrissy. And we think that she can turn things around.
I want to first speak on the fact that it's like, that is the worst thing to hear. You weren't liked on your season. You come on this season, you're feeling great. because remember how the conversation started with Coach. Like, Coach was like, you need to calm down. And Chrissy's like, no, I'm good. I trust you guys. We're doing great. Then Coach is like, no, on your personality. Okay? Like,
and Coach of all people being like, you talk too much? Like, where did that come from?
That is completely gut-wrenching. And I know that feeling because I felt that feeling on the beach of like, wow, no one likes me. No one likes who I am. And I'm really struggling over here because it's like, yes, you did. But I was also a pseudo social pariah. And it's like this thing when you're playing this game that you want to play. You're so happy to be here. But and it's like you know who you are at home, but you're on this island. And now, apparently you smell like doo-doo water because no one wants to be with you. And I feel as if she handled it so well. She took that moment. She had that girl chat to talk about with the girlies about like, this is how I'm feeling. This is how I'm vulnerable. And this is why I'm really feeling this way. And she really picked it back up because I really feel Coach brought that to her to be like, I want to keep you here. This is how we need to go and adjust. She had that girl chat to talk with like, hey, this is what I'm interested in. And now she also connected as well too with Genevieve and is now really ingrained into this group where I don't think, especially with Coach, I feel as if that trio of men are kind of running the show a little bit on this tribe. Mm-hmm. I don't see Chrissy leaving anytime soon. So I think she's actually in a good position right now.
Yeah, she is in this tribe. I think she is solid because she has the connection to Coach, and Genevieve has the connection to Colby. So even if they pull in Joe, that's 5. That really does actually kind of leave Tiffany on the outs, and maybe she partly sensed that, and which is why she wants to connect with Aubry. But I think that Chrissy is in a good spot now, but these are not the people that she had issues with,
Exactly.
The other people that were bothered by her. So she needs to kind of regroup. Maybe she can solidify these numbers and then she can like pounce on the others or change her approach at that point. But being away from them for a while may be an issue for her. But I am excited to see definitely the Genevieve versus Aubry of it all. But I think that this is a tribe that I could see losing in the future. So I think we're going to get some closure to this storyline. And now I want to talk as well about the other tribe, the Orange tribe, before we get into the nitty-gritty of our chaos agent, financial analyst, Emily Flippin. And we can break down every part of her and Christian and all of that. But this red tribe or the Orange tribe, you have Rizgad, who's coming all the way on his lonesome from the previous purple tribe. Then you have Charlie, Kamilla, Dee, and Jonathan from the former Kahlo tribe, they have the majority theoretically, which is interesting because within that group, even Dee was getting targeted by Jonathan, but now they seem to be kind of in lockstep against Cirie and Rick, who are coming together. So I think this is kind of an interesting because it's a very new era heavy tribe, but definitely the funniest storylines for me were Rizo telling Cirie that he knew her once upon a time. Cirie being classic Cirie, going way back to the Kasaya days where she's like, I don't like any of these people. And then also the flashback of Charlie being like, Maria.
Yes. Let's break these all down one at a time. So I just want to talk about this. I'm worried for Cirie on this tribe, girl. I am worried because everyone here is like, I want to keep Cirie, but there's someone whispering in the back of me being like, take her out. But it's like, so I guess I'll take her out because I know and it's so interesting to watch people who are communicating about the self-awareness of Cirie's social skills. Like you could see Dee in her confessional being like, no, I want to keep her, but I know I can't, but I want to keep her.
Resisting temptation, Cirie's like the siren, and we're gonna crash into the Odyssey. But we thought there was 24 players on the season, but Mel, Dee's friend, is the 25th player. Exactly, she should get the fishy this week.
I know.
Oh, we get to decide.
Oh my gosh. Okay. That's clear. But yes, so that was great because it's like, oh my goodness, it's like I guess because it's like I guess Cirie needs to go home, but I don't want her to. But and then. We're now also, I want to delve into this Charlie having this hate train on Rizo because of the flashbacks. Yes.
Is it right for Dee to want Cirie out here? Because I think that Dee had a huge target on her back going into this. We've already seen people say it time after time. So she feels a vibe for Cirie and a bond with Cirie. I think she needs to keep somebody like that around. That doesn't mean you have to go to the end with her.
Yeah.
Does Dee need somebody like that? I feel like she does.
I agree with you, especially as now she's the only winner there. You need someone where it's like, if you get out Cirie and you get out all these people, like we've seen it time and time again in Game Changers, when you get out all the big Malcolms and who else, and Sandra and Tony and JT, then you go at merge.
Sierra Easton. She voted out her mom.
Then you go to merge and it's like, oh, who's the big threat now? And the people who are the threats are the people who would have been sitting pretty at merge. So I think especially for Dee, she shouldn't be going and being like, oh my gosh, I need to get Cirie out. I think in this moment, she needs to get someone out like Rizo out who would just go for her. Because it's like, people think, I guess Rizo has communicated that he's in fourth place, right? That he got fourth place. But like, he's this big question mark. Everyone knows who Cirie is. Everyone knows who your game is. Everyone knows who you are, Dee. Everyone knows what your game is. So you want someone who it's like, oh, who's the bigger threat? Is it Dee or is it Cirie? You don't want it to be who's the bigger threat. No tea, no shade, all love. Is it Rizo or is it Dee? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Or we saw that Rick versus Dee.
Yes.
Pregame stuff, so maybe that's the avenue you take over that. But
exactly.
I think it's interesting because I think that's where the returning player season can be very interesting. It's like the ghosts of the past and what you've seen before. Can that impede your progress? We saw that as well very clearly on Winners at War, where Sophie Clark, she had mutual interest with Kim, but was too afraid to work with Kim because of what Kim had done and what she could do. But sometimes those interests do align. And I think that this is one of those things where at first I thought, oh, that's really funny, astute point from Mel, but I don't think that's necessarily in Dee's best interest.
I agree.
And then, now we need to talk about the little hate bomber we saw.
Yes.
Crazy.
I get it. So I first want to speak. So for those who just want that recap, it's at night. We get a night flashback. And Rosa's like, oh, Sophie, she's my best friend. She made it to the final 3, but I had to vote for Savannah because I think she played the best game. And Charlie's getting flashbacks to the war. Okay, it's flashbacks, and we get the flashback too. We see Kenzie winning. We see Charlie gag to Golly being, what is going on?
We saw the look in Kenzie's eye.
Yes, we saw Jeff be like, Maria, what's going on, girl? So, and Charlie just goes and like Raven Simone's that's so Raven comes back to the future and says, Rizo needs to die. And
wait, Raven Simone did that?
And that's so Raven. I think let's not go into this tangent. But he is like, Rizo needs to die. I cannot go and I cannot have Rizo. And he's like, I think this is just like flashbacks from the war, but I don't care. These flashbacks are not going to become flash presents because this man and my dying breath will not make the jury. So he is anti-Rizo. He is anti-Riz God, okay? He's an atheist in this game. He's like, no God should be on my tribe.
Yes, so funny. And the thing is, Rizo, I feel like, was doing a little bit of spin on his own. Savannah was clearly his ride or die on the first. I mean, obviously we didn't see everything. Maybe Sophie was his best friend, but Savannah and Rizo were like this from day one. They knew each other before Sophie and Rizo did. So I felt like this, to me, my read on this, I could be wrong, but I feel like the Riz God was trying to pull one over because he had distanced himself from Savannah, being like, oh, we don't know each other. We don't even go to the same school, to try to like lessen the target on their back. And then she got voted out. It doesn't matter. But then you can't backtrack and be like, actually, we were super, super close. And so I think that you don't think so?
I don't know. Like, I have a little
Tell
bit
us,
of, you know
what?
Here, this is what I feel about it. Like, I think this is one of those lies where it's like, you didn't know. For most people, it's like, okay, whatever. But then it also does raise a question mark because it's like, if you're Sophie's friend, why wouldn't you vote for her? Like, it's a bit of a question mark. And they immediately even bring up the Maria of it all, where it's like, oh, are people going to call you a Maria? And his defense is like, well, I didn't cause her to lose the game, so like it's fine.
Yeah, but you
right?
But
like, but like for me, I'm just like, I'm trying to go and ponder the fact, would it really be, if Savannah's gone, you could be like, actually, I'm not. Savannah and I were actually each other's allies. Like, we really, like, which is why I voted for her. And just take back the lie. Be like, but now she's voted out. She's gone. It doesn't matter in the game anymore. I just, like, I needed to try to give my information. But maybe Riz was then worried, if I backtrack, are people going to be like, oh, you know, he's sneaky. He's doing all these evil things and trying to hide the secret things. So we need to vote him out. And it's like, the saying of the witch eating crackers, right? In the grand scheme of things, it makes sense. But if people want Rizo gone, and now they have this other thing, it's like, oh, Rizo lied. You know, he lied about having a pre-existing connection with someone before the show. How dare he have a pre-existing connection before the show? That's not fair. When we all had years and seasons and interconnecting. So I can see why he kept it, but I also don't know why he might have, like, he could have just been like, oh, like, I don't know.
Or just at that point, just say you voted for Sophie to win. They don't know.
Yeah, they don't know the vote count. Or just be, because it's like, because at this point, why would you say you voted for Savannah to win? Or just be like, oh, I lied. You know, I wanted to seem like I had some sort of work, like, just in case I could work with Savannah or something. Like, it's so
I'm
weird.
excited for the deleted scene, though, where the question after that he poses to the rest of the tribe is, can you all name a different relative of mine? Like, that's what I want to see. So you see what he really learned from the first time. But I think that Rizo was like smartly trying to cover his Savannah connection, and then he couldn't backtrack on that. But then didn't realize like what a trigger it was for Charlie. But I have to say, I feel like this was spicy Charlie. This was 5-alarm chili and 5-alarm Charlie. And I like 5-alarm Charlie. I think he's like the nicest, hilarious, great narrator, great strategist. But here we got a pinch of not just pepper and salt. This was what's a hot spice? I don't know. I don't eat hot spices. Cayenne pepper? This was cayenne pepper.
No. Oh my gosh. That's actually just habanero at least. Teriyaki is
I love teriyaki.
That's not spicy at all. Yeah. We got that little spice from Charlie.
It was wasabi. We're about to have sushi.
Oh yeah. There you go. Wasabi. But I really feel like for Charlie, him having this target on Rizo because of personal effects, I think it's a funny reason to target someone, but I also don't think that him targeting Rizo is a bad move on his part. You know?
No, I
like,
don't think so at all either.
He's this big question mark. He has connections with other people that he feels comfortable with. Rizo wasn't on the original tribe, and you know, Savannah's gone. Why not target Rizo? It makes complete sense to me. And you know, if you go and you close the door on this fear that like Rizo will vote wildly, of course do it. But I just think it's really funny though, because I was watching the episode and thinking it's so funny because Charlie's like, Rizo wouldn't vote for his friend. I'm like, you just met Rizo yesterday. This is a benefit to you. Like, I don't think you guys are BFFs. Yeah,
actually,
like,
they should be mortal enemies and then put him on a journey.
Yeah, like I'm like low-key, it sounds like Rizzo's lie is beneficial to you. And it's like Rizo would have better people right now. And I thought it was also so funny. Go ahead.
But I think the thing is, like, the one thing I could see about Charlie maybe should keep Rizo around is he was the one that he spilled the tea to. You know, he told him everything, which was kind of a wild move for him to like give Genevieve's info like that. But at the same time, you know, in most situations that probably would have worked with Charlie, but there was this extra little spice there. But for somebody like Charlie, I feel like they said, he has something to prove. He came almost as close to winning other than Dom Abate than like for a runner-up, you know? So he really has a big target on his back without the $1 million check, which kind of sucks. So then I feel like if you look at the rest of this tribe, you know, I don't see him getting having bad blood with Dee or Kamilla or Jonathan. So he should keep them around. Then it's like, do you target Rizo or do you target Rick and Cirie, who both could serve as like good shields for you? So I see where he's coming from, but also I think partially depends on his relationship with Rick and Cirie in terms of how he should go. But I have to say, we love Habanero Charlie, and we hope to see more of it.
Yes, we love the Habanero Charlie. You know what? He's in his reputation era, and Charlie will understand what this means, and all the Swifties will get what I mean.
Wait, is it like Bad Blood? Is that the song?
Bad Blood? You see, no, Bad Blood was not in Reputation.
What about are he and Maria never ever getting back together ever?
Also not in Reputation, but nice try.
Why don't you tell me then, you genius, if you know all the references?
I would say he really is Look What You Made Me Do.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Okay. Don't come for me. I know my Swift vernacular.
You know, she's big in the news this week. Donna Kelsey said that Taylor Swift watched that show.
But
Got it. Yeah, anyway, so great stuff there. But do you think that I think all of this is irrelevant? Cirie could be on the worst position on this tribe. They're never gonna lose. Look at these people.
oh my goodness, no, I don't see them going. Like, they have Jonathan, they have Kamilla, they have puzzlers.
And
like,
they already learned, don't put him on the pizza puzzle.
I saw Jonathan Yu. We see people developing from their puzzles. I saw Jonathan with that blindfold. I'm like, Jonathan Yu.
Well, let's take a step. Let's have a Jonathan check-in because he was famously on the Taku tribe, which you don't have your buff on, so fake.
You did not tell me to bring the buff.
I thought you would know already, to be honest. I thought we were there, but we were clearly not there.
No.
And also you dropped us anyway, so it doesn't matter. You both.
I didn't drop Jonathan, actually. Did not drop Jonathan.
That's true. But how do you feel about how our boy Jonathan is doing this season?
Jonathan, the best representative of 42. This man has been in the core of everything since day one. He has been like, it feels like he is in the safe position. No one is looking at him right now. And it's also because he is Jonathan. Like, Jonathan is quite literally a gift from God when it comes to, because he's just so physically dominant. And also, and even so, because this the immunity challenge wasn't that physical, but like, he's very good as a synergy team. Like, I remember remember when we were at camp together and like he was like, you guys were having a conversation about what are people strong at, what are people good at. He wants to work in a team. He loves to win challenges. Like, even when you heard him talking about voting out Cirie, he was like, if we lose a challenge, he's like, I'm not throwing these bad boys. I'm winning it out, and we'll have a plan B just in case, because he loves the game. He loves to play. He knows what his strategy is.
Remember we were talking about what if we go to a swap, and if it's like we're in the majority, should we throw the challenge for the people? And then everybody was like, no. And I was like, oh, this is the wrong vibe for this group.
We play with honor and integrity.
Yeah, but I will say that Jonathan, I think the thing that he doesn't have this season that he had the advantage of in some ways last time is that everybody here has played Survivor before, so they all are already comfortable being deprived. They know what it's like. Whereas I found when I was in that culture shock, going from like never having camped in my life, the first time being in a tent was like in Ponderosa before the game, and I wasn't even smart enough to know not to spray bug spray in an enclosed space, and then wonder why I couldn't breathe and thought I would get medically evacuated before it started. And then get to the island worrying about shitting in the ocean. You remember how much we talked about that? I was like, I have performance anxiety. I can't go. And being in that uncomfortable place where you're deprived, he was a really grounding force, and he made me feel very comfortable and safe in that setup. But these people, they don't need that. However, he does have the advantage of like for challenges and stuff like that. He really is collaborative. He really is not really overbearing in that sense, and really does want to just succeed. So here in the situation where we had to pick a caller, he chose to step forward because we didn't really have somebody that had like a projecting voice in the same way that he had. And so he took that role on, but it wasn't the right part for the end. And we ended up losing this challenge that sent us to tribal council. But here he's so happy to take a step back because he knows his strengths and weaknesses. And I think the thing that he has an advantage on this season, I feel like, is there's a lot of people that have been wanting to work with him because they can watch 42 and not necessarily be threatened by him. Like, even though, you know, you got all the credit for voting me out of Survivor 42.
No, he thought of it first.
The ball rolling. Like he wanted that before anybody else did. And he started to get the ball moving in that direction. But people don't know that who just watched the show. They don't know that he has this other strategic gear that it's easy to forget that is there. Like, even playing with him, I was like, I didn't see that coming from him. And I thought that is an advantage he carries over into this season. Yeah.
It's because Jonathan has the same problem or advantage as me, where it's like, I talk so much, people forget that I think. Jonathan is so physically large, people forget that he thinks. People forget that he has the strategy, which he does have. So because you just think of him as this physical guy, and so you don't think of this physical guy that also has the strategy. And I do think that it's gonna maybe serve him well in this game, and it clearly has been right now. He's in this good strategic spot, and you know, because some people might be like, "Oh, he's physical, blah 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 blah. He's gonna get sniped when they smell a merge." But who's gonna snipe him? Like, what he's ingrained with people. Why would his own allies turn on him if they could just get someone else that they're not with right now? So I think he's in a good spot.
he's coasting right now in a way. Like, he could just coast, but at the same time, he's still doing little things to like secure his spot beyond just being complacent. You know, he's securing Coach, he's securing Chrissy. You know, these three that came over with him clearly want to work with him. Like, they're not looking to jump him right now. But his issue will never be pre-merge. You know, it is going to be post-merge. So it'll be interesting to see if those building, but it's like, is he setting the building blocks up to have success later on and pay dividends later? And I think we are seeing that, but I guess we'll see how it plays out. But he also did that a little bit the first time too, in the sense that, you know, he was like, I'll carry you guys forward in these challenges. And then post-merge, he came to me being like, I'm going to need you now. And, you know, like, he knows when to give and take. And then if he can slip under the radar and have people underestimate him again, I think that he could snipe them. But I think we're so far, what's the letter grade on Jonathan's game up until episode 3?
Oh my gosh, a Canadian A-.
Okay, I'll take A- to he's flirting with that A right now, but we got to see. He hasn't been to tribal yet, so it's hard to achieve the extracurriculars that get you to the 9.
Yes.
Okay, yes, I like that, an A-, which is pretty much as good as you can do. Now,
but
Emily,
no, we got to go back to the swap.
Yes,
you know, Jeff has just finished the best rap in Survivor history. And he said,
wait, should he put the pen down? Should he pull out the eraser?
Should he pull out the eraser? Oh,
Chris Noble, honestly, he did it better. They should have actually brought in Chris Noble for this.
To do the rap.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's a celebration of all 50 seasons.
Yeah.
So we go and we
get... Gabriel Cade.
Oh my goodness. Now we're pulling it way too back. But we are getting back. Oh no, he was recent to this swap. And Christian has been searching for Emily, looking. Emily is with everybody except herself. She is yapping on the tribe. They have not been able to find Emily to tell her that Aubry has the idol. Christian is like, I love my girl. I'm not going to throw my girl under the bus. Pulls her aside as they pulls her aside. Just leans her to her ear as they take the buff off and says, Aubry has the idol. That's all I can tell you. And now we're about to start the best segment in the show.
Yes,
and first, I want to talk about Emily first. And I want to talk about her reaction first. Because Emily went and said, oh my gosh, Christian's telling me this last minute. I'm not getting this information. Christian doesn't trust me as much as I get it. And I want to speak to you about it because when I heard that, I immediately understood exactly what Emily was feeling. Because it brought me back to the knowledge is power Drea blindside. Because for me, I was blindsided about this. I didn't know that it was going on. And I only found out as it was happening real time, which I personally feel is the best way to get blindsided. Nothing happens to you. It's great. Amazing. But when I got back to camp, Omar came up to me and was like, I'm so sorry, Maryanne. I wasn't able to find you. I'm so sorry. And like, I felt the exact way Emily felt. Because I'm like, what do you mean you weren't able to find me? What do you mean? I'm on the beach with you. Like, what do you mean? Like, were you not? And like, there were reasons why I was sick that time. And then I was always with Drea's either. So he
also reasons because literally when I had told you some information, you had blabbed it to Drea.
Okay, that's another story.
It's literally related to that story, which is why I went to confessional and said Maryanne can't know about anything anymore because she can't keep her mouth shut.
No, I would have kept my mouth shut about that. And actually a piece of your downfall. But the point being is that once you find out information last minute, you better do some damage control. Because I remember waiting for you then to be like, Omar, what the hell just happened here? Why did I not know about this? And and so did Emily do that? When they get to the beach, find out they're on the same tribe, does Emily run up to Christian and be like, Christian, what the hell? Well, take it away, Omar.
Yeah, the thing is, I also watched this and kind of felt watching it unfold. Christian had some part to put the blame for this, much like I had part of the blame for it. Because I think the issue with it is like, I can't tell Maryanne anything anymore because she ratted me out to Drea. But I still want to have my cake and eat it too and still work with her. not the right thing. Like if you're going to be in, you got to be all in. And the same thing is true, I think. And I think that's why on our original tribe, we said, okay, these are the people we're trusting, especially pre-merge. Let's go find the idol together. Whoever finds it, we're all in on the plan. So I think that, you know, the excuse that Christian and Rick have to some extent of like, well, it was so last minute, we just couldn't. You've had that idol for, you know, a while. You tell her right away when you knew, right? Because like it was earlier in the day, like the day before that all of that went down. At least that's how it was presented on the episode. So it seems like I feel like they could have had, you know, it was before Savannah left that they had that idol. So they could have found a time to tell her, but they didn't tell her until that moment when the swap was coming. So I get where she's coming from that perspective. But at the same time, I think that she identified later what she should do, but had just like blabbed too much before. So you know what I mean? Like she came to the conclusion of what she needed to do, but it wasn't turning on Christian at that point. But then she had already let that information out. But I can see why she felt like she needed to in that moment, to be honest. Like I do get, like if you feel like you're getting blindsided with information last minute, then you need to make a new plan. I do get that. But it made for iconic television.
Oh, the best segment ever. Because now we're going, you know, Christian went, and we also let's bring it back. Loved how Christian, like they had this thing. Devins is known as an idol finder, so we're gonna say that Devins found the idol, so no one's gonna know. And then so Devins is going and talking to Cirie about finding the idol, and Christian's all like, "Oh my gosh, like this man is God grouped in Goliath." You know, Christian for the Emmy.
Yeah, well, honestly, that's a really good move for Christian too, to get Rick to, that's like perfect. He gets Rick to take all of the heat for finding the idol, which, to be fair to Rick in this situation as well, that is the right move, because if you don't want to blow up that Christian gave this thing to Aubry when you have a relationship with Aubry, so that could be excused. But then I think what needed to be done, like a little step beyond that, was Christian probably needed to take more of a step back from the idol situation, you know? So in terms of like when he's talking, when Christian and Rick are talking to Cirie, I noticed that Cirie bought what they were saying, so it ended up being fine. But I thought it was interesting that Rick was like really talking to Cirie, and Christian was pretending to be surprised about the information, but he was not addressing Christian like verbally and eye contact wise. So if I had been there, I'd be like, well, if this is new to both of us, why are you only like looking at me and telling me that? But I don't think Cirie either. Well, we didn't see her pick up on that.
Yeah, I think you're thinking like a psychiatrist. That's because you know.
I'm not a psychiatrist.
Yeah, but you're related to one. Like I don't think when I'm going and having conversations, unless it's so egregious that you're not talking to me and like I'm not in on it, then it doesn't matter. Like let's say, like for example, like, you know, it's like because Rick was talking to Cirie, but Christian already knew. But it wasn't that Rick and Cirie were not involved in Christian. Christian was in on it, so it didn't really matter because he's with the body language you're speaking. Because I'm not like eye tracking you, so I don't think that was a big like fault on Rick. I think you're just being so nitpicky. These people are hungry; they're not going to be thinking about this either.
Well, ultimately, Cirie bought it, so it's not no harm, no foul. So it did work out. Although it is crazy to me that there's this alliance of Rick, Cirie, Emily, and Christian as a four, and then they're like, this is the four. What about Ozzy? Like, are they forgetting that Ozzy and Cirie are besties?
I'm guessing that either they don't mind, or they don't, or Cirie and Ozzy have been doing very good, but only Savannah smelt that these two are together. And this is like a testament on Cirie's game.
And now Emily and Ozzy are besties.
I know.
So I think this is very interesting. And what?
And Q, because we go to this
conversation.
I love that
Emily goes to Q and Stephenie being like, Christian is lying to all of us. Aubry has the idol. They gave it to her. Blah, 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 blah. And then goes to Angelina and immediately is like, okay, never mind.
Yes,
and then Angelina being like, this is the most intense first conversation with somebody I've ever had. I'm like, have you played Clock Tower with Emily? No.
It was a whirlwind. Because from the viewer's view, we see it's who's it? Ozzy? Is it Ozzy? Q Christian was the first conversation. And then like Q already goes to Ozzy's like, you and I were tight. I guess we'll bring in Emily. Emily comes in and it's like, hey, Aubry has the idol, and we know because Christian told me, and I don't trust Christian. And Q's like, okay, great, you can be our fourth, I guess. And then Q's like, and we're gonna bring in Stephenie, and then so it's gonna be me, Ozzy, Stephenie, and you, Emily. And then Emily goes to has a conversation with Q and Stephenie, and she hears them talking. She's like, wait a second, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not Maryanne. I know who's fourth on the list, and it's me. Like, I'm not a silly goose and think that it's Stephenie. I know this isn't good for me. I need to get out of here. Yeah. And so she does exactly what you said, what she needs to do. She goes to Christian. Hey, Christian.
I've been a bad girl.
I have something to say. Please don't get mad at me. Please. And honestly,
when you start like that, he has to forgive her.
No, I think Christian did not crash out as much as I thought I would. Like this.
He stayed at the confessional, which was hilarious. Yes, gasp, his audible gasp.
He couldn't even keep the gasp out because he's just like, Emily, what do you mean you told everyone about this one secret thing I was trying to tell you because I could not find you and I wanted to set you up for success, and now everyone knows Aubry has the idol. Like it's Jay has the idol all over again.
Christian has been firing on all cylinders as well. This man has brought the entertainment this season, and this is another episode for that. But his reaction to Emily spilling, like, I would have been as frustrated and annoyed as well in that position. But he did, like, he saved it for the confessional, and he realized actually very quickly, okay, I could be annoyed about this, but I still need and want to work with Emily. So I need to put that behind me. And that's a very important skill to have, especially because you have all of those people coming for his David versus Goliath trio. And I think that, to be honest, those three played it really, really well. Except, I was ready to like read Mike to Phil, like the emoji movie, when he said, "I'm voting for you, Stephenie." But when there was the second plan, I was like, I get you. I like that.
No, I remember that. We go back to tribal, and Mike is like, oh, I don't know about these David versus Goliath people. Not going to vote for them. Actually, Stephenie, voting for you. And the thing that's wild is that this happened in front of everyone who was not a part of the season of David versus Goliath. So it's like, it was just wild to me. I'm like, why is he saying this? This is actually, and then after it's like, oh, I'm actually voting for Q in the end. And I'm like, what is going on? So let's chat about that.
I think it's like such a risky move, but I like it in the sense that he is trying to create a diversion. You know, I actually, at first, when I thought it was legit, I was like, what are you doing? Especially because there's shots in the dark that are in play. You're telegraphing what you're doing. There could be idols you don't know. He's coming from the tribe where they don't know anything about idols. And it's not like Angelina told him, because Angelina doesn't know about the idols at this point, from what we're aware. And so, but then the more I think about it, the more I kind of like it, because he's creating a diversion. He's making two statements. One, we're voting for Stephenie when we're really voting for Q. That's important, because if he looks like he's coming across nervous and honest, if they have an idol, maybe they're playing it on Stephenie instead of Q. Secondly, and they know the type of Stephenie, you see her name come up and she's a little bit paranoid about it. You know, if there is an idol in that group, she's not going to be the type to be like, I think they're bluffing. She's going to want it played on her, which is understandable. Then you have the second layer to that, is he's sending the message of, we're not going to turn on each other here. So are you going to go to rocks, or are you going to play? You know, and I think that was great. I like it.
I think it's one of those things where when you have all three David versus Goliath people, and you have a tribe of 7 and it's 3, and you just need one person, and you say, we're 3. Do you want to be our 4th? And like, I don't think we're going to go to tribal a lot of times. So it's easy. And you hop on this 3 train now, you are safe for at least one more tribal. And like, the odds of us going to 2 tribals is low enough that you want to get on this. I think it's a great sell, especially for the pre-merge. But the big worry for me especially is that, because who are the 3s? We have David versus Goliath, and we have 46, who's now not a 3.
48. But they're
and 48, who's now not a 3 anymore. So they're now coming to next episode. They're still the only strong 3. So it's really now this game of like, okay, we're playing this like they're setting themselves up for a good short-term strategy, but long-term, I'm just so worried that at merge, immediately, we just need to get one of these three out. Doesn't even matter. Like, they're clearly working together. Let's wash our hands. And then it's the really big bet of which one of the three are going to be the sacrifice. Because in the pre-merge, it was Angelina. Angelina's weak. But who is it going to be at merge? Will it be?
Is Angelina even that weak?
I don't think she is. It's perception is reality. I think it's more like they said Angelina doesn't do work at tribe, so we're going to get Angelina out. And then it's now morphed to that Angelina is the weakest in the tribe, even though, like, I think she did fine in the challenge. I think she's great. So then, but if it's at merge, I'm like, I have to get one of these Dave versus Goliath out. I'm going for Angelina. I'm going for Angelina. I'll be going, like, if I'm not working with Christian, I'd go for Christian. Or if I'm not working with Mike, I'm going for Mike. So this is like one of those like moves that is beneficial for Mike and Angelina and Christian now. And it's beneficial for Angelina the most because she benefits the most from it. But something will need to change down the line, or they need to be willing to like have a plan B and hope for the best that they are ingrained with their original tribe, that once the inevitable David versus Goliath war goes, that their tribe will protect them to make sure that they're safe in the end. And I think that from the original things that we have with Christian having a very good tight thing with Devins and Cirie and whatever happens on that, Christian has people batting for him. Who are the people who are batting for Mike?
Right. And we didn't really see a ton, like maybe Coach, it seemed, based on that tribe, maybe Jonathan, maybe Chrissy, but Angelina really didn't have anybody except maybe Aubry. But the thing is, within that group, Mike and Angelina are much tighter with each other than they are with Christian. And so I think that puts him in a bit of a vulnerable position as well, especially within this kind of group here. But at the same time, who are the other people coming for? Q, Stephenie, you know, and Ozzy, they're really trying to get Angelina out. They're not trying to get Christian out. And so it would be, that puts Angelina and Mike a little bit on the back foot to need to work with Christian as well. So I think he's actually in a pretty good position. And I think that I think Angelina also actually, like, Christian played it well because he's like, I need to take a step back. I don't want to put my opinion out there because it's so. And this is the thing that Ozzy actually struggled with, I feel like, but it didn't really come back to bite him, where Ozzy was like so clearly trying to protect Cirie, so clearly trying to protect Joe, to where if people wanted to mount something on him, he gave them all the information. I think somebody walked away from one of his conversations being like, he really doesn't want to vote out Cirie, eh? And so looking at, you know, Christian, if he's not the one to say something and be like, I'm intentionally taking a step back, they can't look at him and be like, you're protecting David versus Goliath. You let Emily come to him and say, I want to protect Angelina here. Like, that's what he wants to have happen. He doesn't have to be the one to put it out. And so I think that was great. And then Angelina, you know, kind of coming in on the bottom here, she has to just put faith in the people close to her. She knows she can't really, as you know, a thing or two about it, like, she can't necessarily change her fate at the bottom. So I think that she also did well.
I think so. I think it was done well. I think the winners of the David versus Goliath trio were Angelina and Christian, and the loser was Mike, because now he's kind of seen, at least for me, he sees like the de facto head, because he's the one who's saying we're not going and voting for each other. So, but I personally, like I said, I don't think this is a problem now. I think it's great because they have their four. I think this is a problem down the line when they get to merge it, you know?
But I think also in such a big cast, I don't know if I'm that threatened by, you know, either a showmance or a trio or stuff like that. It's like nice to kind of have that be the focus of ire. You know, I think the in that situation, they kind of, as a conglomerate, become a lion. And I think that people need to watch out for the hyenas. And so unless you're a hyena, then have a whooping, laughing party about it.
Yeah.
You know, that's fine. But I think that if you're people like Cirie, like Rick, you know, you gotta keep kind of that, and I think they need to keep people like that around.
Yeah, but you're forgetting that we have people who are seen as typical, still, you know, 50, deserving of 50. But you have people who are like Tiffany's and Rizzo's who don't have these like big, they did this, or they've played 20 times, or they've won, who that's a great, like, why wouldn't they just say, hey, let's just go for these David versus Goliath? That's a great thing to pitch out right at this moment for them, because they need to pitch people out too. Because if you're looking and you're like, well, I don't have the resume that Cirie has because Cirie's played 4 times, who am I going to say? Because if I say Cirie,
Yeah.
it'll just bounce back on me. So it's now lifting up and giving another, like, there's these three things, right? You have the people who are trying to go for the hyenas, quote unquote. You have the people who are trying to go for whatever poker alliance they can find, right? You have the people who are trying to go for these big names. So it's just like civil war. And Mike is kind of given like another option on the platter that if both sides decide, hey, we don't want to start the civil war, let's just go for this nice little third option, this little appetizer, it's there.
Can we talk about Q's pitch to Mike? Okay, I liked pretending you have two votes.
Yes.
To some extent in this situation. I did not like, why don't you just pull the coach move, be the little man and vote for the third party so that we can have the majority. I could send home your best friend Angelina and you could vote for me. It's fine. Let's orchestrate a 3-2-1 here. Like, that was crazy to say.
You know what? I interpreted it as Q not understanding like Mike's willingness. Like, because Mike could be saying, oh, I'm not going for David versus Goliath, but if they die, like, that's not on me. Yeah. But I think Q was like trying to see, maybe that's the feeling that Mike is getting, where he's fine with Angelina going out, but he can't vote her out. So I'm going to give this option, vote for me. And then your hands are clean. You're still with us. No one's going to think you're bad. It's great. So I don't think that was like a negative thing on Q, especially since he has no vote. He's trying to figure out all these things. Like, it's not like,
I'll push back on that.
No. It was a bad read. Like, so good on theory.
Because, everybody and their mother knows that Mike and Angelina are best friends. You've been preparing for this for how long? And you don't know that Mike and Angelina are going to ride for each other? Like that.
Okay, but how much Survivor and TV does Q watch? He's a big shot realtor.
Come on. You're locked in on this experience. Everybody knows who's going to be kind of close with.
No. Not
especially when it's
people.
on glass. And I don't know if you heard, Maryanne. I don't know if you knew this, but Angelina was on the White Lotus.
Oh my gosh, was she?
Yeah. I think it is like crazy. Like, just as a side note. Oh, hilarious moment as well. So that's Angelina's firing on all cylinders again. But he should have done his homework. That was a crazy thing to say, and I won't back down on that one.
No, I'm not. Like I said, I don't think that. I think Q should have realized that Mike was very gung-ho, especially on Angelina. But I don't hate the strategy. I just hate who he did the strategy on.
Right. Fair enough. I mean, that could maybe work on Christian if he's like the third wheel of the third wheel of Mike and Angelina. But I thought it was funny where Mike was like, yes, thank you for permission to vote for me.
Yes.
Emily being the belle of the ball was honestly just such a, we have not had enough Emily flipping this season until today.
This was Emily's breakout. I kept on hearing her and I loved it.
Yeah, we want visibility 5 for the rest of the season. I want also her to I want to see her clock tower mind go, because she really was all over the place here. And this gave me like it would be really funny to see Zach Wertenberger play here, because seeing him and her play together on clock tower, I could see this coming out. But Emily going to every group and being like, I'm with you, but they all want to be with her. And I love that for her, because she's having the opposite experience of Survivor 45, where everyone's like, at the start of the season was like, we don't really think you'd be a good alliance member. And now everybody wants her and she gets to choose. And I think she's actually making, yes, the path to get there might be a bit curvy and messy, but I think she chose the right option. And she was able to pull Ozzy into it, to the point where Ozzy is saying, Q's doing did you do this to Ozzy? And he's like, yeah, I did it. Or were you number 5 that got brought in here?
No, but I love that for Emily. I love how she was able to go and bring in the connection where she's like, wait a second. It's like Christian and me, we're doing these lockstep. I need someone for myself. I need that person in that back pocket. I need to start to already get my options out in this game so that I'm not dependent on someone fully. And going and working with Ozzy, I think was just so wonderful. I also do want to mention, though, how funny it was that Q said, I have an extra vote. What if it came back to Ozzy? You have an extra vote? That's weird. That's funny, because I'm pretty sure you have no vote. But then Ozzy was in this predicament because he told no one about this extra vote. So he's not supposed to know that Q has a vote because he won the challenge. So it's true. So it's like that Ozzy kind of knows Q doesn't have a vote, but I wonder if like Ozzy somehow managed to bring it into conversation that Q does not have a vote in a way that still protected him. Because he doesn't have the extra vote, actually. He gave that to Cirie. He said, thank you, Queen. This is yours. Here you go.
He could have used that extra vote this week if he wanted to split up David versus Goliath.
But clearly he doesn't care. Clearly, he's not worried about those three. Yeah. Like, he's fine about where he is in this position. So
because he knows Mike. They've met at the streets of LA. We know that LA is all about
connections.
Connections and real relationships.
Mm-hmm. And people who roller skate down the street.
Does that happen?
It's a super deep pull. Don't worry. Thank you to the one fan who will understand it. Yeah.
Yes. Didn't see him roller skating when we went there, but maybe next time. No, that's fair. And I think, where do you think that the tribe? So who of this tribe, who won out tonight, and who really didn't? I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. Stephenie is on the losing end of things.
Yes.
I think that Ozzy took an L, but is making it into a W. But I think that the biggest winner tonight was probably, obviously, Angelina, because she survived, and Christian.
I love how you asked a question and then immediately answered it and didn't hear from me first. That's the funny part. Yeah. Stephenie obviously is the loser. She was blindsided. She was so surprised that there was only one Q vote and that vote was hers. And then I don't like offer Ozzy. I don't even think he's like, he lost per se, because it's like, if your plan is just to get Stephenie out next, then there's no blood done, no dead men don't tell any tales. Stephenie can't yell about how much she hates you because she's gone. So for me, I think it's just like Ozzy was like, yeah, would he have had more power and agency on the other side? Yes. But then think about the future. Like, he's rock solid right now with Cirie, has this working relationship now with Emily and Christian. So he's like, why would I need this Stephenie thing? Like, how do I know that she really wants to work with me? Like this kind of combination that she has. So I don't really hate it. When Angelina, Queen, we get to see her again. We got to see her with a little cute jacket, mind you. My girl has her jacket. My girl is warm at night. My girl gets to sleep at night nice and warm. So she gets to still use her jacket. So win to her. Win to Christian, because imagine you're someone from your tribe was like, I don't trust Christian. We never heard his name, ever.
Never.
No one even thought about him. No one thought, not even a wink, not even a whisper. Yeah. So he's obviously a win too, because it's like he still gets he has his cake of David versus Goliath, and he gets to eat it too, where he still has that Ozzy and Emily duel. Like, so he really has all these options here. Mike doing great, because right now, and the way that it is, Mike is steering the ship right now. He has all the options. He gets to choose who's next in Stephenie. And then after he can figure out, like, okay, I have my 3 for sure. I have Angelina. And maybe, like, at the end, he's like, actually, I don't need Emily. I'm going to pull an Ozzy and we'll get Emily out. I can see him, like, having this steering position. And especially, like, I don't think, like, they're a pretty strong group, and they still have some strong people that just lost Q. So they have breathing room. They have breathing room in the future, and I can still see that working on.
Do we think so? I think I agree with you completely. I feel like, firstly, I don't think this tribe is necessary. I think that they could win from here on out. Like, I really think that Colby, Genevieve, that tribe is going to be no losers here. But if they do lose again, I don't see a good way out for Stephenie LaGrossa here, because Q was her main alliance, main protector. You know, she took a shot on Angelina, which is technically taking a shot on Mike as well, and Christian peripherally. Emily made her choice and walked away from her. So why go back now? And then Ozzy is the only one who has some sort of relationship with her where he could go back to her, but he doesn't have the numbers. So,
but why would you go back?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I just don't see a reason.
They know how the idol works. They know, like, it's like they know how the idol works. And like Ozzy knows, because they're right now on Genevieve's island, right? Yes. So they know, since Ozzy knows there's no idol here. So why would you go back to Stephenie? She has nothing. She's a sitting duck. If you believe, okay, at worst we're going to lose one more immunity, so we only need to
they could technically get one from another tribe.
Like, that's true. That's true. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I digress. But
regardless, it's not like she's going after him.
Yeah, she's not going after him. And who's going to give it? Like, and who are the people who are going to give it to Stephenie? And are they people who find idols? You know?
It's right. And it's just really rare, I feel like, to have a situation on a tribe where it's like kind of in nobody's best interest to save you. Like if you
Yeah.
look at Angelina and Mike, you know, they probably think they're going to get the jump on Christian and Emily through
Mm-hmm.
Ozzy. And then Christian
Mm-hmm.
and Emily think that they could get the jump on Mike and Angelina through Ozzy. So
Mm-hmm.
do any of them really need her? Like, I'm not sure that
No.
they do. So I think that she's in a really, really tough spot, but I
Yep.
don't think that they'll necessarily go to tribal. So
So I like it's so I'm like Stephenie will go like the way I see it. Stephenie makes merge if they don't lose. If they lose, Stephenie's gone. But I think it's like I honestly think there's like a 50% to 70% chance that they don't go back, and
okay.
then and
And
they
who
only
goes
go
on the
back
other
like
tribes? Let's
ooh
place our
yeah
bets now,
okay
and then we can give the fishy. I mean,
okay
whatever you want to
perfect
call it.
yes the Mariomishi I'll think about it. Yeah, so Stephenie on this tribe. On Jonathan's tribe, I'm so bad with names, so I'm going with people.
Oh, that was Sela now, the new Sela.
Aubry or Tiffany?
That's not the right.
Well, we'll go to that tribe then. We'll go to that tribe.
Okay, so the Aubry, that's like new yellow Kalo tribe.
That's blue. That's blue. I was thinking blue.
Yeah. Okay. So you think? Sorry, who do you think?
Aubry or Tiffany?
You have to pick one. You can't pick both.
Tiffany.
I say Tiffany. Yeah,
I say Tiffany.
Aubry.
Idol. Yeah, idol
and
shenanigans.
then and then from the other tribe.
Ooh. Okay. You go first.
I think Rizo, because I think Cirie is gonna charm her way in there, and Charlie has a vendetta. So, and Charlie has the numbers.
Yes, I think so too. I think Rizo is Riz dead. That was pretty bad.
Terrible.
That's pretty bad. That was pretty bad. But yeah, Charlie's like, I can't. He's like, Rizzo probably a nice guy, but he's dead to me.
We did Jonathan watch. We did Canada watch halfway. Like we were happy. We love Mother Beef. But Kamilla, quick check in. She's doing well. There's not, nothing terrible to report at the moment. She's in a good spot, killing the puzzles.
Mother Quake, Mother Genevieve from Winnipeg. You know, she's the only person who make me go to Winnipeg, and that's saying a lot. And the Canadians understand that is saying a lot. So
truly. Okay, who gets the Omarion?
The
Maryanne Award.
The Omarion. I like that. Yes. Oh, yes. Maryanne Award. Ooh. Yes. Okay. We'll have to deliberate. Do you have one person in mind, or do you have?
So the chaos side of me wants to give it to Emily because ultimately everybody wanted. She was that girl. Everybody wanted to be with her, or be her. And she ultimately made the right decision and got what she wanted. Was it messy along the way? Absolutely. But I think, it was like high. It was big swings. It was a roller coaster. It was high highs, low lows. Christian was, I feel like, moderate high, but he didn't have the Emily push that she did,
No, I agree. I think the Maryanne Award goes to Emily. She comes
to be a little chaotic too.
Yes, it has to be a little chaotic. And then look at this girl. She comes in, tries to kill her number one allies game, goes into this new alliance, hates it, immediately flips, goes with Angelina, tells Angelina everything.
Nobody suggested her. They weren't like, fuck Emily.
No one said her name. They all said, yeah, we gotta work with this girl. So the Omarion goes to Emily. Emily, please contact us. We'll give you a little award
to it too. Yeah, there's a bit of fun to it. We can't just be boring.
No,
like Steven Fishbach. Just kidding. Check out his new book. I've started it. I have not read a book voluntarily, like a fiction book, since grade 8. Ew. So this is going to be the first one.
Okay, I'm going to the beach. I'm going to the beach for a week. This week that started this Saturday, and it's my beach book, and I have it personally signed by Steven. The first.
You got yours signed?
Yes, I did. Oh. I will tell you later because I don't want to distract him, please. But he's not the only writer that we have gone and overtaken, because we have a new writer in the block, and his name.
Oh, Cesternino.
Yes.
I need to get that book too. I want one signed.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you just gotta be like me, have connections and sign. Oh, and look, is there a little QR code popping up to show us about this beautiful book? Yes, I love our books. Be a book reader. I'm trying to read 50 books, 52 the books this year. I cannot wait to read Escape as one of them. I think it's going to be like my 14th book of the year. I'm very excited.
And Rob's book, and I'm listening to Taryn's book. So we're
Mm-hmm.
in the weeds. I'm going to do more reading this year than I've ever done before.
There you go. Kind of concerning that you've read so little, but
My
very happy
goal
that you're
is
reading.
three books this year. It's Terrence, Steven, and Rob's, and that's it.
There you go.
So
there
you can shove your 53 books up your ass.
Whoa. This isn't a competition. It's just an encouragement for people to read.
Okay, perfect. And one of them is an audiobook.
It's true. And then also, you know, you might be wondering, wow, why are we seeing this amazing duo who's the best thing to come out of the new era? It's because Steven and Rob are right now in LA doing a live show as we speak. Well, no, actually, because they're in LA, it's 3 hours behind. But for us Toronto people, you guys showed up to RHAP and Toronto is sold out.
Sold out. But they're working on maybe getting some more, but we'll have to see. And anybody who needs a place to stay, they can stay at Maryanne's mother's place.
Oh my goodness. Please don't invite my mother's basement to other people, but so kind. But we're so excited to see you there. I will be there. Omar will be there. Obviously, Rob will be there. And there's going to be so many other cool Survivor people.
I'm going to make Venus come.
Yes. I hear there's going to be a little bit of a Canadian takeover. Mother Quake, the Kamilla Terry. Everybody's going to be there. So don't be square unless
Kamilla too. Excellent.
Who?
Kamilla too. Excellent.
Yeah. And so if this is news to either Genevieve or Kamilla, when I say this, we're going to have to make this happen because I've said it. We're going to have to make it work.
We'll have to get Kane in there too. We'll try to find Caleb in. It's going to be a Canada takeover, baby.
It's going to be so good. April 22nd. So we're very excited for that. But yeah, I think this is where it ends. So Omar, any final thoughts about the episode? Final thoughts about the future thing? Final thoughts about 50?
So far. Great season so far. So excited and honored to be here with you. We're like the unhinged, on TV ready version of Kyle and Kamilla. So it's great to represent on the podcast scene with you, Maryanne, my best friend.
Same with you as well too. I'm so happy to know you, especially because we went on an international trip together and we didn't kill each other, even though you did want to kill me at one time when I was being a little bit of boo boo bum bum. Only once, and I did deserve it. So I'm not even gonna try to defend myself because did deserve that one. But so glad to know you. And like Jeff said, if you want to be on RHAP like us, you have to apply.
Yeah, exactly. Because next season we're giving away one guest host spot on No One Else to one applicant.
Absolutely. And the only
this is not redeemable by the actual showrunners of this show.
No, let's make it. No, there's terms and conditions. The terms and conditions, you have to make it to merge. So we're going to add some pressure on you. So if you are on 52, you make it to merge and you are already, and you're aware of Rob has a podcast, and you're listening to this before, don't let us know because, don't break your contract or anything. We want you to be on the season. But, do some sort of, notes that says it and screenshot it to us once you make the merge to be like, I'm redeeming it. And I will personally go to Steven's house and I will eat Steven so that Rob needs to find a new co-host. And I will be like, Rob, I've heard of this great player so-and-so, and you will be on the show.
Yeah, well, I was actually referring to any fan that wanted to apply and they can message Sam Moore and try to redeem that coupon.
Okay, but so you see,
might
two
be
different
writing
ways.
Checks we can't cash.
Oh, well, I can cash some checks.
And I can't because of what you did. So.
Oh my goodness. Only for the benefit of me, though. But yeah.
You haven't even said one thing about my orange pussy over here.
Your little cat. It's a great tabby. Okay. I think we're losing the plot here. So before people start to burn down our houses and be like, we want to watch about Survivor, we will see you guys next week or on April 22nd. Well, you won't see us next week. You'll see Steven and Rob. Thankfully, I know some people are cheering now and they have the game figured out.
Do they?
Well, they do know it all. And with that, you guys have a wonderful night. And goodbye. Say bye, Omar.
Goodbye and good luck.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.